Welcome to the No Pants Side Pony Experience. This is Katie Hogan.
Hey, I'm Alex.
And we have special guests with us today. We have Margaux Alvarez and Alex Cardenas.
Hi.
Hey.
We've tricked them into being on our podcast.
Yay.
So, how are you guys doing?
I'm doing great. Just had some dinner.
I just got nervous.
Yeah, it's real. That's welcome to our life. Well, we're professionals. It doesn't make
We're hardcore about it.
So, you're hanging out with us in California, but usually you're not. What's
Yes.
going on? Where are you? Why are you here? Where are you going?
So we're actually here because Alex needed to get surgery on his bicep again. Get it kind of fixed.
So massive.
He needed to get it fixed, cleaned up.
It was an enlargement.
So we actually been here since last Thursday. We actually head out tomorrow. But we've been residing in Montana recently.
Yeah, so new move, right?
Yes, new move.
You guys, last time I saw you guys were in El Paso.
Yeah, we're in El Paso. Been there the past year. It's been great. Some family stuff came up with my grandma and my mom, so we've been up there since January, which has been nice to be able to help out and spend time with her. So It's been kind of like a quick adjustment, but
Yeah.
it was something that was needed.
Yeah,
So,
definitely. So you're now being able to balance time with training and getting to see your family,
Definitely.
which is important. And then, let's see, you've been visiting with us lately.
Yes.
And getting to play a little bit.
Lots of playing.
So most of your life right now is training.
Pretty much.
Yeah. Full-time athlete for the most part.
Yeah, I think for the most part it's been all training. Maybe if I work a summer on the weekends, I'll be busy with that. Anything we have with Alex in terms of his surgery or follow-up appointments, we'll focus on that. But the biggest part has been...
I guess. whenever he interrupts with like an injury or another bicep enlargement.
It's so distracting.
But yeah, no, it's obviously taking care of him and then just spending time with family, training, and obviously enjoying the process as much as we can. The weather's been very nice down here, so
nice.
trying to make the most of it until we go
Like
back to the
6 feet
20-degree
of
weather.
snow back in Montana.
Yeah, and that's where you're going tomorrow.
Yeah.
Oh, we're going to Vegas
Well,
for
we'll
a
go
bit.
ahead to Vegas first.
Oh,
Oh,
cool.
Yeah.
that's rough.
See her
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, not to play casino or
No.
hit the gambling, get gambling.
To exercise?
Yeah, to exercise. We'll go see my dad. Actually, he's in St. George, which is about an hour and a half, 2 hours northeast of Vegas.
Okay.
So we'll go see him. We'll talk about some stuff with him with the vineyard
Yeah.
and wines and kind of work on that aspect. And then
That's always your post-game summer project, right?
Yes, exactly. That's like my dad's games.
Yeah.
His games is the whole wine and grapes picking and wine making process. So that's really cool.
So you'll get to kind of check in with him and see how things are for this upcoming
Yeah, for the upcoming
kind of
season.
harvest or how. What do you guys-
Yeah, for exactly the upcoming harvest, and just see like there's kind of a project we're in works with him.
Trying to get the wine license going, so
Yeah.
I don't know. It's a
Oh,
little complex, so we're going to talk about it more.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So
That'd
it'll
be
be like
really
some
cool.
business chatting.
Exactly. So it'll be good. We'll stop by, see him for a little bit, and then head back to Montana. So a little quick rendezvous, and then back up.
Cool. Well, speaking of businesses, this is kind of a business. Talk to us, guys, and maybe Alex, you can field this. Like, what's going on with the whole Team Entropy that you're working with right now that I get to be a part of? I'm real excited about.
Yeah, what is Team Entropy?
Yeah.
Yeah, so just a bunch of cool people training all the time. I like how I start sounding more Mexican.
Stop.
We appreciate that. We're
Hey, we keep it real with our
Real, yeah.
viewers.
So,
Audience.
it started with Margaux 4.5 years ago, almost 5 years ago, and just this philosophy on training, and just kept going. And people started asking me, "Can I do this?" I was like, "Yeah, cool." And so now we have 8 people. I called it Entropy. Just I like that word, and so Katie's a part of it. And
Explain a little about it, like controlled chaos.
yeah, so entropy is just this word that I really like. It's thermodynamics. It's a controlled chaos, and I think what we do is always really chaotic. There's a lot of beauty in disorder, so I like the whole fact of there is a process there, but it's really, really chaotic in the sense of if you look at what you guys do every day, it's like, why do you do that? Why do you subject yourself to this stuff? And it's beautiful in the way that every day you go in and day out, and you put this process together, and it's cool to see the results at the end of the year. So as we're seeing, that's coming up. So there's a couple athletes that I think are going to go to the games this year. So it'll be fun to see them. So we're just that's the whole thing. Team Entropy. Maybe it'll grow, maybe it won't, but it's cool right now.
Yeah, it's been a great process, I think, for myself, not only as an athlete, but to be able to see everyone that's come along for the ride and see the different athletes coming from different backgrounds and different places. And we're all kind of spread out, like not always are we together in the same gym or the same area, but like the other day we were able to get a good handful of us together, and it's like that's a pretty cool opportunity to be able to support one another from abroad, but then also come together and be able to be in the same environment or same gym and be able to support one another with our own kind of goals and aspirations. So that's been really cool to kind of see that develop and kind of grow over the past couple of years.
And we developed this really cool mantra, like, you know, Katie, like you discussed about it in Wadapalooza and Margaux, but it's a really cool mantra, more of the psychology of the sport. And it's just been really cool, like seeing everybody grow up and just get together, just the cool people that are like so like-minded in the sense where it's not so much about what you do in the fitness world, but how you treat people and how you help them in everyday things, you know, how you motivate people. So your legacy kind of is a big deal to us. Like, what do you do for people? And
how do you help others and help others reach their goals or kind of motivate them? Because that in the bigger picture is more important than anything else.
Yeah, cool.
Absolutely. So kind of, you know, for anyone listening that's thinking like, okay, this sounds like a members only kind of a gig with, you know, you've got 8 athletes, some that you're training for the games, some you're training for regionals or maybe different goals, but I mean, that's a pretty, for as far as a team is concerned, that could be kind of small. I think for you guys it probably feels large because of how much personal attention you give to each athlete. What would you say to anyone listening that's like, well, how do I get in on that? I'm a good person. People like me. How do I get in on that action? Margaux would really like me.
I think, I mean, in terms of people being a part of it, we want to be able to share like my program and share what we've been doing. And so we've created the website, Prepare and Execute website, which is part of our mantra. And we've talked about, Alex has written many blogs previous to that website, but a lot of it developed now as part of our mantra, like, all right, we have the Be Accountable piece. And so Alex has been able to write blogs on this and put it on the website, which has been accessible by anyone. So we have the Prepare and Execute website so people can access that, kind of like, all right, I want to check out the blogs or I want to check out my nutrition. But then we also have the part where you can sign up and become a member and work on the training. And we've had a handful of members just recently in Montana that talked to us like, oh, like, we love the programming, like, I'm able to make a lot of progress in this or that, and it's incredible to see it. And obviously it's anything scalable, so you're able to like, all right, I can't do this workout or I can't do this movement, but I can change it. And it's to be able to have that, it's kind of like you're expanding your network, you're expanding the community, which obviously we're all working out, we're all into fitness, but it's like the community aspect and the support is huge. So to be able to widen that and open that up to more people is awesome, and to be able to help others reach their goals, because everyone's going to have different goals, they're not all the same.
Yeah,
that's been really cool.
And the website is prepareandexecute.com. There's a membership for the programming, which is not much, it's like $50 a month. But if you don't really want to do that, you can just pretty much check out the blogs and whatnot. And our philosophy is really invested in the blog, so you can just check that out whenever you want.
So anybody can literally sign up for $15 and do the programming
Yeah.
you're doing. That got you 10th at the games.
Yeah.
That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's definitely, it's nice because, I mean, just be able to share what we're doing, because a lot of people will ask like emails or questions and messages, and it's like, hey, like, this is what we're doing. They've been inquisitive recently, so it's like, hey, why not be able to share that and allow them to see like, cool, this is what she does for lifting or gymnastics or accessory, all that stuff.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Very cool. So I guess the team is a little more accessible than just members only. I thought I was pretty special. But like all of you guys can get the same action.
Awesome.
Maybe in the future we could do like some really big like meetups if you guys continue to grow. Like what do you see the future of it? I mean, is your goal to grow it, or I mean, you guys, like I said, just spend a lot of your time and give a lot of personal attention to each other. And like, I'm sure you're not staying at everyone's homes, eating dinner with them and doing their podcast, right? Like, it for everyone that's paying $15 a month. But like, is your goal to grow this into something where, you know, you have a larger following in terms of following the program and subscribing to the philosophy, which I'd love to hear more about. I mean, I know what it is, but I'd love for people to hear more about if you want to talk about. But you know, what are your plans for Prepare and Execute or for Team Entropy?
So we're going to Margaux, Vegas to talk about more about we want to build a barn, which is kind of a gym with a loft in it, where we live. But we want to build this establishment where it's like a headquarters where we can have people come and go as they choose and train with us whenever they want. It's going to be in Utah, southern Utah. It's also going to be the site of the vineyard, so that's going to be our focus will be more of making wine and whatnot. But our goal is always to help people. So whatever we can give to people is ultimately our goal. So that's pretty much the foundation of who we are. Yeah. What else?
I mean, I'd say that's the biggest picture. Like overall, like what can we do with obviously reaching our goals and reaching what we want to do, but then how can we give back to people in the community? How can we give back to others to help them reach their goals? And the biggest thing is obviously like being around my family, wanting to spend more time with them and helping out. Like my dad has done a lot with the vineyard and a lot with the grapes that he's grown the past few years. And it's like, all right, how can we help out? How can we give back to him? Because he's been so supportive to myself and both of us over the years. And so obviously I'm really proud of what he's accomplished. So it's like, all right, how can we incorporate what we're doing on our workouts and our fitness and focus on that, but then also how can we give back and like share this experience that we've had with him with others. So that's kind of like the work in progress there. And I mean, we obviously don't know where it's going, but we want it to be successful. And I think obviously having this conversation tomorrow will be really great, and then kind of seeing how the ball unfolds after that.
And also ultimately we want our athletes to be successful. So whatever their goals are, we want to just be able to help them, whether it's funding them or giving them an avenue, just a brand or whatnot, just to reach the masses or whatnot. So yeah, that's our goal pretty much.
Your goal is to have others reach their goals. That's pretty selfless. That's awesome. But like you said, you're a part of it too, and you're reaching your own goals. Margaux as an athlete. Alex and I are both coaches as well. What we talked about last time is like balancing the two sides of being a coach and an athlete. And I know Alex puts in a lot of time as a coach. He himself was and is still an athlete, despite what he might say. But as far as the coaching and programming side of it, again, I think, Alex, you can weigh in. Alex, no pants, can weigh in on this
I'm
as
so
well.
confused right now.
Yeah.
There's so many Alexes. Some have pants and some don't.
Well, you can't see them, so maybe we're not wearing pants.
Nobody is wearing pants on this show. But like, honestly, what keeps you interested in, some people I think consider programming monotonous. I really enjoy it, but it can be exhausting. I know you've told us before, most nights I think, or you're up super late trying to get all that done. What keeps you interested in coaching people and giving so much of your time and energy? I mean, I know you want to help them reach their goals, but when does it become just like, oh my God, if I write down another workout about, burpees and thrusters, I'm going to shoot myself? Like, what keeps you so interested in this?
I think there's one of my favorite movies was Good Will Hunting, and in this scene, one of the scenes he talks about how Mozart was playing music and it just made sense to him. It's kind of how I feel when I look at physiology and the way the body works, the adaptations that happen. So to me, this isn't really a job. It's fun. When I go to work, I have these golden handcuffs, so I'm gonna get a salary that's gonna help me do what I want to do. So that to me is the stress. But when it comes to like programming and coaching and talking psychology and talking physiology, it's a beautiful thing for me, and it's just like it makes sense. It just flows. I can see. It's kind of like that chessboard over there. You can just see pieces moving, and at the end of the day, you fall in love with the process and the people that are on your team. So that's my answer. It's basically just kind of just makes sense to me. I love it. I could stay up till 3 a.m. doing it, and wake up the next day still psyched about it. And the opposite is like I gotta go to work. I'm like, can I say it?
I don't know what our audience is like. They might be down with the F word.
I can just beep every time you want to say something.
Yeah, I'm like, shit, man, I gotta go to work. And it's just like I'm just dragging to get there. So it's just really contrasting how, it's like I really, really just love it. Just time flies, and it's like I'm so in love with that thing. And with work, it's like, man, I gotta go do that. So that's basically how I feel. So I can never get tired of this ever. I mean, I've been doing this CrossFit thing since almost 10 years now, and it just always made sense to me. Just such a beautiful thing, I think. And what CrossFit is doing for the world, for the nation, in terms of healthcare. It just, I mean, you see them battling Coca-Cola. You see them making a dent in what our problems are, or pretty much chronic disease. Tertiary care is just the thing that we wait to get healthcare. But CrossFit's like, nah, you don't have to wait. You can just go out and do this and be healthy and live not only 80 years old, but be a productive 80. You know, you can squat, you can deadlift, you can enjoy life versus sitting in a bed like with one side of your body diseased. You know, I don't know if that makes sense, but
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I need more beer.
That can be arranged. Producer Keegan, go get more alcohol for our guests. We don't want them to be dry.
This is my second podcast. The first one, man, I was like nervous. I was sweating. I was like, oh, I gotta talk. And
Do a pretty good job at it.
yeah, well, this one was a beer deep into it. It's pretty cool.
We know how to get our guests on the show.
It's funny.
So let's see. I wanted to also talk about what it's like for you guys being a couple and also having to collaborate as coach and athlete. You probably get that question a lot.
Yeah.
But as someone that follows the program, I can also, I feel like Margaux is also one of the coaches or kind of like team captain in a lot of ways. So you're also collaborating as coaches in a way. I know Alex is by definitely, you know, the lead, but I know Margaux, you get but you get to also, I mean, he values your input obviously, but what is it like for you guys collaborating as coach and athlete and as, I guess, like co-coaches in a way for the prepare and execute site?
I'd say, yeah, I mean, we have, in terms of like coach athlete, we've had a pretty good relationship in being able to talk to one another. It's been a for sure a work in process, like learning, like I'm talking to you as a coach, not as a boyfriend, or vice versa. But I mean, definitely, like when we have the opportunity to train together, it's like, all right, if he can't be there, he can't physically be seeing athletes, I'm kind of his eyes for the time that we're together. So if it's you and myself training, or if it's Lauren and Gordon training together, or anyone else that we can get together and train with, it's like, all right, I can be the eyes and say, hey, like this is what I observed, this is what I see, this is what I think, like what do you think about this? So we kind of have a dynamic with that, being able to talk and kind of just go back and forth with stuff. And even with myself, like we have had plenty of conversations. Obviously we're in the gym, but then also we go home at the end of the day like, hey, what about this, what about that? Or sometimes it can be like, man, like I feel like all we talk about is working out and exercising. It's like, let's take a break. And it's nice to be able to do that, because it's like, it is majority of our lives, and it consumes us obviously in a good way. Like we enjoy it, we love it. And taking a break from that, like going and watching a movie or talking about other stuff, watching the politics or the news or anything to kind of change it up obviously helps. But in terms of the relationship, being able to be as coaches or coach athlete, it's like, it's obviously great. Like you need to be able to have that, and being able to kind of pull that away from like boyfriend, girlfriend, obviously, like making sure there's a clear distinction. Because sometimes they can kind of get like muddled together at
You
times.
need boundaries.
Do you think it's harder having him as your boyfriend?
No, I mean, I
Which
think
would
like,
you let go of first?
That was the first question we ever asked each other.
You gotta pick.
yeah,
That was the first
that was
question
probably one of the first, yeah.
This
podcast just took a turn.
Yeah.
So, anyways,
Like,
no.
That's what that was like, what, a long time ago we said,
And
do
it
you
says,
want to be this or do you want to be this? And she was like, I want you as a coach. I was like, ah, shit.
Aww.
baby.
Just a friend.
Yeah, don't talk to me like
Coach zone.
that. Yeah,
I'm keeping you in the coach zone.
No, but that's something we've definitely had to like distinguish. It's like we've gotten discussions there. This is my coach's hat on, because there was specifically one instance where we were prepping for, I think it was the 2013 games.
Oh, it wasn't a date.
No. No.
We were prepping for a date. Burpees.
We were prepping for a workout, and it was the workout from 2012 with the split snatches, the bar muscle ups, and the 400 meter run. Well, the gym that we were at, like the measurement for the 400, I think we found out later that it was a little bit long. Like we didn't know at the time, but it was like a good like anywhere from 40 to 60 meters extra. But I come in from like the last round, and he's like, "You can't be running 400 meter splits if you want to go to the game, blah blah blah." And usually I like keep my cool, and like I don't like get upset, because I'm like, he's my boyfriend, but he's trying to tell me that I need to be running faster, and I like lost it for a second. I was like, no. And I yelled, I was like, I'm running faster than 2 minutes. I was like, that measurement has to be off, because I'm running faster. I feel like I'm running faster than 2 minutes. And lo and behold, we found out that it was short. I was like, see, F you, I got it.
Thank you.
The woman is always right.
It kind of shows you the growth that we both come through. Like, I was a Marine, so my leadership role was more like screaming at people, you know what I mean? That's what I learned. And there was a bunch of dudes, and that's what you did.
I'm not a
And,
dude,
and she was,
obviously.
she was more
It's a
passive.
little different now.
She was more passive. She was like, you know, she was able to, she was too passive. So it was a lot of talk about, hey, you got to come more center, where you got to tell me, and I got to come more center, not be this Marine leader. Like, it's not fair. So we've learned a lot from each other. We've talked about it, but ultimately it comes down to her. She's kind of different from a lot of people in the sense where she has a thick skin, right? So she's able to take the day, absorb it, and let it go. And I could tell her, I could say, hey, look, I'm going to talk to you as a coach, and here it is. And then she'll look at me and she'll say, all right, cool. We'll have a discussion about it, and then we move on. So the point is that not too many people can do that. So if you're not okay with that, then it's not going to work. It's not going to work because somebody has to be honest in that scenario, and the ego could get in the way or whatnot. So yeah, it's probably just her. She's a really cool chick.
I mean, no, not just
She's
that.
okay.
Mediocre. I think I've met other couples that are boyfriend, girlfriend, or husband, wife, and coach athlete as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's definitely possible, but I think communication is huge, like of utmost importance. Like you need to be able to communicate, and it's hard because we've had plenty of people say like, oh my god, I could never have my husband or my boyfriend, my significant other coach me. Like you look at them, and like there's definitely some times where it's like in the middle of a workout, they say something, and I'm like, no. Even like, oh yeah, just hold on to those thoughts and tell me afterwards. But it's I mean, it's good again, like communication, and because people ask like, oh, like, do you think it's possible? I'm like, and it's possible. Anything is possible. You can't like say no or never, anything like that. But you have to understand, and we've talked to other people about this. Like, you got to be able to communicate. You got to be able to say like, all right, cool. Like, you got to be able to give it and take it. You can't just like take it and not be able to give it, or vice versa.
The other interesting thing is when people tell me I couldn't be next to my girl or guy all day. Like, I'm just like, really? That's awesome.
That's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Someone said that.
Dude.
Maybe you should talk to someone.
Yeah. Like, that's kind of a cool part of my job is that you can hang out with her the whole day, That's one of the, goes back to what you asked, why do you like that? You get to be with Margaux all day. Cool.
It's definitely one of the perks.
Yeah.
So romantical.
He hangs out miserable days.
Yeah. Nurse staff.
Yeah,
Sure.
seriously. Look what he subjects him to after his bicep enlargement. Amazing. So it sounds like your guys' coaching style or coaching athlete style is somewhat on the same track. It didn't take like a huge shift over. I mean, I think whatever Alex was doing programming wise seemed to fit in with what you needed, and it worked for you guys. What about on the mental side of things? That's something you've worked with me a lot on. How much has Alex had to work with you, or have you had to seek help elsewhere on the mental game? I mean, whether not even necessarily in competition, but more so like in the day-to-day training. I mean, tell us a little bit about how you get through that.
So it's I think back to like golf actually, and golf is you have a team. If you have 5 girls or 5 guys, you have a team, and then that's your team, your score.
And you played in college, right?
High school, yeah. So I played like from 8 to 18, so I had like a good 10 years of experience, and I think that definitely helped create a good base, because it's like you're out there by yourself, and like it can be very mental, like you're talking to yourself, or like you hit a bad shot and you're like, god darn, and you chuck it into the water and like shit, that's like a stroke plus another stroke, and now my next ball. So I think that definitely helped in terms of creating that base, but it's still like it would get to me or whatever, but I think it was definitely progress. But I think once I came into CrossFit, it was like I've never done any really lifting barbell. I mean, I'd ran before, so it's like I'm trying all this new stuff. And there was this one time we were training down at Alex's old gym. And
CrossFit One World
at CrossFit One World, and I was trying to think of the city. I was like Fremont, Union City. So we were down there, and I was trying to snatch like 95 pounds, like trying to hit 100, and I like threw a fit. Like I could not do it, and I think that's where, at least for myself, like if I can't do something, like I want to be able to do it. Like I want to know how to do it. So like that was a barrier, and I was like, I'm all challenged. So we decided to work with after that, we decided, I mean, not just after that incident, but we talked about it, and we're like, hey, let's like work with a sports psychologist, because we have had plenty of talks, I mean, back and forth about stuff, not only psychology, but like the mental aspect, the mental game. And so I worked with a sports psychologist for a while.
But think about that, like it's 2012, sports psychologist, it's like, it's an investment, right? So this is before, before CrossFit was even big, so that's the significance of it. It's like,
And that was not long after you were feeling what weight on the snatch?
95 pounds.
90 pounds.
95
pounds. So for people that are wondering why their tantrum at 95 pounds isn't yielding results, they might need to take a step towards maybe not necessarily a psychologist if that's not in their budget, but something, right? They've
Yeah.
got to take action.
Oh, for sure. And I mean, even before this, I've worked with a life coach since like 2010. And so we've talked about different variety of topics, not just working out, but it was about like life, about personal issues, about family issues, about career issues and things of that matter. And so obviously I think for me personally, like I've enjoyed working with my life coach, and she's here actually in California. She's amazing. It's been almost 6 years now, and to be able to see that progress has helped. But it's like now we're taking a little bit of a dive into like sports. So we worked with a sports psychologist. I think it was about a year. We worked with them, a little over a year. Yeah, a little over a year.
I know how much money it was.
I mean,
Investments.
but that's where it's like
Investments,
investments, and that comes back down. I think that can be a full circle. Like you look at your health, for example, like, oh man, like I don't want to pay $150 to go to a gym. It's like, okay, $150 for 12 months or so many years, like that's a lot of money, but it's like, what happens if you get to the age 50, 60 and you have a heart attack and you have to go to the hospital,
Yeah.
and then you're paying thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars to be in the hospital. It's like, he's seen that side of it. I obviously haven't seen it. I see it when I go to the hospital, but it's like, what's more worth it? Like to save your health now,
Right.
or like wait 30
You're going to pay
years?
it anyway.
Exactly. So like, it's an investment, and so obviously it was an investment we put in, and it was worth it.
Totally
And
worth it, yeah.
yeah, like totally worth it. So I think the mental game and the mental aspect, like kind of long story short, it's very important, and like we've worked with it with other individuals, but I think both of us being able to talk about it, and Alex has helped me immensely, was being able to have conversations, not only like, all right, here or here, but like randomly that comes up. It's like, let's talk about this or let's talk about that. And it could be things that maybe aren't even related to the mental aspect, but we have a conversation and then that leads into something else.
Yeah.
And I think you have to be, you yourself have to be willing to kind of open the doors that maybe you don't want to open, or go down the path that you don't want to go down. And it's like, I know for me, like working with my life coach, like obviously a big barrier was like my sister's passing. Like I was okay with it because I was able to like move on and move forward, but it's like there was still a lot of things that I needed to work with and like learn about myself so I could go forward. And I think that applies to any situation, not only just someone passing your life, but like working out or a new job or career, switching careers. Like that's something that I worked with her as well. Like, do I quit my job with good pay and health insurance to like go do something I love and decrease my pay? Like it's a risk you're willing to take. And I think the same thing with mental aspect.
Yeah,
Like
totally.
can you open that door that you have sealed shut and you don't want to open, but you've got to like bust it down to get through on the other side? Because yeah, it may be hard, but it's like whatever you go through, you'll be able to kind of overcome and like learn from that and say, hey, I'm better because of that, or I learned something more about myself.
And that's the thing, like the physiology side of things, you see the body adapt to amazing things. It'll just keep going, but the psychology of it, that's where you see people who are on the bubble. Can they keep moving through that? And it's hard. It's like, you know, people talk about, oh, I don't want to squat a 405 or whatnot, but you see them squatting every day, you know, but how many people truly search the psychology of it every day and try to get better? It's not something that people talk about, and it's something that at the end of the day you can see at the regionals and in the back, you know, when everyone's warming up, you can see who's like really uptight, who's really like got this mean face because they're so freaking nervous, and it's hilarious. It's like, okay, well, you're scared.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
you can see
so-
who's done their homework on that side of things versus just the physical.
It was a cool story. I remember hanging out, like I was talking about it earlier, but I remember hanging out in this group of games athletes. It was her, Jen Jones, Camille, and I was talking to CJ and me. It was one more event, and Maddie Meyer just pops up to this group of veterans, right? What's up, guys? Like smiling. I don't know where.
Like 18-year-old.
Yeah, 18 years old.
First time at the game.
She's sitting 6th place at regionals, and oblivious to what's going on, right? I look at CJ and I'm like, hey man, does she know what's going on? She's like, not a clue. And it was like, no stress whatsoever, you know? She goes in, she does the final event, crushes it, and goes to the games, you know? The girl in 6th, the girl in 7th, they didn't make it. It's a big deal, you know? Psychology is huge. Now, I don't know if it's because she was just 18 and unaware, but I think there's that, you know, comfort level with competition that needs to be addressed, you know? So, yeah, psychology is huge. You gotta practice it, for sure.
November 2014. And I think it's been great. It's more volume than I've ever been able to handle, but the way that it came about has been in a very, you know, over time, layering it on. And so I never got into that dreaded overtraining situation. And I've noticed
Or under recovery.
Oh yeah, under recovery, exactly. I've noticed that my body's adapted and got stronger. If that would be the word, just kind of gotten better overall. I think the hardest thing for me is to be able to give myself that credit. So, you know, we have all the information. We've got months and months and sheets worth of data and, you know, different scores from workouts, and just being able to look back at all of that and realize how far I've come is really, you know, it motivates me to realize that, hey, it does work. Putting in the work actually yields results. So I've really enjoyed it myself.
Yeah, it's
That's
been
awesome.
fun for us having you on the team, and
Thank you.
it's been fun getting to meet Alex more, and so it's been really cool.
Yeah, I love it. It's awesome.
Yeah, so when are you guys coming back?
Yeah.
I
Gosh.
know, next trip we'll have to plan that
Get your
trip.
right arm bicep enlarged. It's looking pretty puny, so it's gonna need you to come back. It's just a trick to get you guys back here. I was just joking. Well,
funny.
we want to thank you guys for being on our podcast.
First, thank you for having us. We
And
appreciate it.
for giving us your time and your insight. And just let's again say where people can check you out. The website is
Prepareandexecute.com.
okay, and then IG handle.
Yeah, same one. Prepare and execute.
Okay, so you
and
can
then
follow Prepare and Execute.
You can
on
follow that.
Instagram.
Also, Alex puts a lot out there. XFit.
It's a lot.
Alex,
it's a lot
he
out
puts
there.
it way out
But
there.
XFit Alex
XFit.
1, excuse me,
Oh.
on his IG.
Yeah, don't worry
Okay.
about that.
And then-
So actually, what's cool is we're gonna be doing the her open workouts, and we're gonna be posting on. If you're a member, you're gonna get to see her score. So I know the open is kind of a crazy time for people. Where what you get, I can't tell you. Oh my god.
Wait
So-
till Monday night.
Yeah, exactly.
If it helps you to know her score, so she could, use her as a pacer or whatnot, we'll have that for the members of prepareandexecute.com.
Oh, that's
So
awesome.
posted. You're just gonna put her scores
Yeah,
up
we'll
there.
put it up there.
And the video. So
Yeah, and the video.
workout.
Video.
Yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
So, I mean, it'll be for the members, but it's not that much.
$15. Are you kidding me? That's nothing.
20
Yeah.
cents a day.
Seriously.
It's like 3 coffees.
It's like 40 cents
Pretty
a day.
much, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
That's funny.
And then Margaux, what's your IG handle?
Oh, mine's 321GO as in GAUX.
Okay, so the number is 321 GAUX.
You sound like a commercial.
That's right. And
If you call now,
Oh, wait, there's more.
you get 2 extra one.
you got 2 Margaux. So that's
ask
one.
her to tell you jokes when you guys see her about, just what's your favorite movie?
Yeah, if you ever
So
bump
good.
into Margaux, she'll give you some awesome movie quotes.
Some
from movies
one-liners.
you've never seen.
Fat guy, a little coat.
Okay, that's
There
what.
you see it right there.
The best is not just that she knows them; it's that she makes herself laugh, and the rest of us go like.
It's so cheesy.
But it's so good. Only a couple, at least people that watch the movies know what movie.
It's like 2 people.
No, it was more than 2 people.
It's
Anyways.
important that it makes you happy. That's one of the tips of the tricks of the trade of Margaux.
Yeah.
Is tell yourself jokes, and life's easier.
Yes,
That's why she's so good when she
You gotta
trains. She's
enjoy
just
the
saying jokes
process.
the whole time.
Just like little movie quotes going on in
Real.
her head.
It's a movie reel.
That's awesome.
All right, well, thank you guys again
Thank
for
you.
coming on the No Pants Side Pony experience with myself, Katie, and
Alex. I should
Awesome.
probably talking to the mic.
we're new at
I'm
this.
still getting used to it.
All right, and scene.
And see.
And Jesse knows where to cut it. It's over, babe. Cut it.